The Hornets dance, snap back caps, pep rallies, ready, spirits never lack. Lost in pride but style in the swag sack. In the quad, we ain't never gonna stop. In the quad, we always on top. In the quad, feel the music drop. In the quad, groups run deep.
What's going on, HBCU family? It is Tuesday, February 4th. We are 4 days into Black History Month, and you are locked into a brand new episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden. I am your gracious host, Nick Eden, and we're back with another phenomenal show. Y'all, real quick, story time. So, currently, I've said this before, I'm looking at finishing up this master's program at Western Governors University. And Black folks are always going to find a way, even at an online university, for us to get together and have some type of community, right? And so we've got this, I feel kind of crazy because I feel like it's our own Black Student Union. And I've been joking about Black Student Unions for years. But we got our own, like, Facebook group that's specifically for Black folks at WGU. And how we end up with a subgroup within the group, I don't know. But it's a bunch of HBCU alums in there that are getting their masters. Some who didn't finish their bachelors, they're in there. They're getting their, like, so we got a whole little HBCU community within the community at WGU. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I'm telling you, Black folks, I don't know how we managed to do it, but we managed to do it every time. And I just had to shout out, first off, shout out to the Facebook group Black at WGU. Shout out to the HBCU alums at Black at WGU. And I can't wait for our alumni kickback in November before graduation in Atlanta. So yeah, just had to shout them out real quick. Let me tell you something. I'm tired. Listen. I don't know if y'all understand the track that I'm on right now. So the plan is I'm going to be finished with the masters before November. That's just because WGU has all these different commencements throughout the year because they're so big. I mean, right now it's like, I think they just had 11,000 new students start in February. So I'm sitting here and I'm just like, okay, I'm finishing this up. By the fall, the plan is to head back to Alabama State to do the MBA, which is going to be a year. And my goofy self is now sitting here thinking about a doctoral program. And if you'd asked me 3-4 years ago if I would even thought about getting a doctorate, I'd have been like, you're absolutely out of your mind. But I think I just need to rest. Like after the MBA, I just need to rest because I'm doing way too much right now. And my sleep schedule's off. Just a whole nine. It's real crazy. Shout out to everybody. Listen, it is difficult. This is why I tell my students, I don't care what you do. Just make sure that you finish undergrad. It is difficult. And try to go straight through. Try to go. If you're going to go and you're going to get your master's, just go ahead and knock that joint out. Because being a working adult, and being in school at almost any level, man, that thing is difficult. I long for those days where if I could change one thing about my undergrad experience, I'd have stayed on campus so I wouldn't have to worry about working and paying any bills outside like my cell phone or something like that. Listen, going to school as a working adult is not for the weak at all. But so shout out to all the folks that's getting those. Shout out to the folks that are going back and finishing your bachelor's. Shout out to the folks that are getting those advanced degrees. Especially shout out to those folks that are getting terminal degrees. Because goodness gracious, it's not easy out here in the streets. Anyway, so y'all, if you're just tuning in to In the Quad for the first time, this is a show where we cover all of the HBCU trending topics across the entire HBCU landscape. That's Twitter/X, Snapchat, Fizz, Fanbase, Facebook, IG, TikTok, you name it, we're talking about it. And we condense these down into two parts of the show. The first part of the show is our main topics, and these are the main trending topics over the last 24 to 48 hours about HBCUs. The second part of the show, which is my absolute favorite, is the fam topics, where you yourself get to submit your questions and or comments. Now, I will also say we also have specialized days for shows like Tuesday. So today, instead of our regular fam topics, we're going to be doing our Tuesday top 10, which is our top 10 struggle meals you made at your HBCU. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's start off with some good positive energy. Shout out to the folks over in the Bluff. Shout out to the Human Jukebox. Southern University's Human Jukebox is headed to the Super Bowl. All right, this comes to us from my good friends over at HBCU Game Day. The Super Bowl will have some HBCU flavor as the Southern University Human Jukebox will be a part of the festivities. Director Kendrick Taylor announced that the Human Jukebox will headline the pregame show following a performance on the Jennifer Hudson show earlier today. I was going to play it, but I am not about to get pinged by YouTube, even though it's fair use. The band has been on many platforms, the Super Bowl 7 times, 3 presidential inauguration parades, Taylor said. This is something that nobody knows. We're going to tell it here on air. We're going to be at the Super Bowl headlining. Southern University Human Jukebox, the pregame. The Super Bowl is set to take place at the Caesars Superdome, a place that the Human Jukebox is very familiar with. Southern University Human Jukebox is renowned for its show-stopping renditions of both traditional and contemporary music, making it a favorite at major events nationwide. In addition to their Super Bowl performance, the band was recently featured in the 2025 Rose Parade, further solidifying their reputation as a premier collegiate marching band. They've also performed at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, multiple Essence festivals, and numerous other prestigious events. With over 300 members, the Human Jukebox is a powerhouse of talent, embodying the spirit of Southern University and its distinct brand of HBCU culture. Its distinctive sound and captivating choreography have made it a fan favorite, and the Super Bowl performance is expected to be a highlight of the event's festivities. All right, so listen, man, big shout out to the Human Jukebox. Listen, Jen, I see you. Shout out to the Human Jukebox. I've expressed y'all before. Growing up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, I grew up on the Bayou Classic, right? So for me, and this was no diss to any of the classics, any of the schools, like the staples were Southern and Grambling, right? Like my high school band, we played some stand tunes from Jackson State, but when it came to like, we want to see a field show, we want to see, stand battles, the whole nine, it was Southern and Grambling. And shout out to my classmate Nathan Hamer, former head band director at Southern University. Bro, we used to be in that I'm just gonna say way too young and used to be in the Bayou Classic like we were grown. But hey, you live and you learn as a kid. That's all I can say on that. Y'all, real quick, we're gonna take a quick, and I do mean quick, break from our episode sponsor, school.com. Make sure, y'all, if you are not logged in for school.com and you want to pick up some extra skills or even teach some extra skills, school.com is a place for you.
Welcome to school.com, the all-in-one platform for creators and educators to grow communities and deliver courses effortlessly. With School, you can combine learning, engagement, and progress tracking in one simple space. No more juggling tools, just focus on teaching and connecting. Ready to start? Scan the QR code to unlock special perks and join thousands already thriving with School.
All right, and we want to always shout out and appreciate our show sponsors. So big shout out to school.com. They do much. And we got a lot more coming down the pipeline. So I'm really excited about that. Hey, listen. You know what? I can see that because Jen, okay. And Jen, I'm going to have to get you on the show one day because I want to hear more about your undergrad experience. I know you are a hardcore bulldog of Alabama A&M. I'm not even going to make any jokes about it. Today we're being peaceful, but I also know that you did your undergrad at Xavier. And I can imagine being in New Orleans at 19 years old and being at the Bayou Classic. But Hey, try being at that joint at 15, my size, acting like I was grown. It's this is why I don't necessarily, it's not that I give my kids and the kids that I mentor a lot of leeway. I'm not crazy about it. I'm old enough to remember, I'm young enough to remember my teens and the little goofy stuff I did. And let me just say, it was it was a time. It was a time. All right, y'all. Heading over to Atlanta. This is coming to us from WSFA. A shout out to WSFA. It's the HBCU Swingman Classic. Shout out to them. So the third annual, I don't know if this joint is showing or not. This is killing me. Anyway, if it's not, it is what it is. Let's see. Let me give this out a time, I swear. All right, y'all. So the third annual HBCU Swingman Classic will lead off festivities of 2025 MLB All-Star Week in the coming month, but fans can get their hands on tickets now. All right, on Tuesday, the Atlanta Braves announced that the tickets for the July event, which will be held in the home in Truist Park, are now on sale. The HBCU Swingman Classic is an annual all-star experience for baseball student athletes from Division I programs at historically Black colleges and universities. The Classic will highlight the history and legacy of HBCU baseball programs and give 50 HBCU baseball players the opportunity to showcase their talent on a national stage. Those student athletes will be picked in the near future by a committee that includes Youth Development Foundation Ambassador and Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. and others representing the MLB, the MLBPA, and Scouts. Fans are encouraged to celebrate and bring their HBCU pride to Truist Park in the Battery, Atlanta. Festivities kick off Friday, July 11th, starting at 6 p.m. Central, and will be broadcast on the MLB Network. I'll be honest. I do wish I'd be able to be there. That is my youngest daughter's birthday week, so I can tell you right now, I ain't gonna be there. But I will be. I'm gonna be looking for some correspondents that are in Atlanta because of the stuff that we got going on with the network. It's gonna be popping off at the fall, so hopefully we'll have some type of representation there. I'm sure of that. But as a baseball guy, I'm totally on board with this. Shout out to Ken Griffey Jr. How he's been dedicated to this. This is going to be great, and I expect to see a lot of representation from the SWAC when it comes to it. I'm hoping that we'll see some representation from some of our Division I cousins who are not in the SWAC. I'm gonna leave that alone. MEAC, y'all need to get y'all stuff together, and y'all need to crank baseball back up. Like, come on. What y'all doing? Like, y'all killing me. Anyway, all right, y'all. We're gonna take our first commercial break. When we come back, I know what y'all are here for. It's a scandal. Is somebody call Olivia Pope? Because it's a scandal in these HBCU streets. Sports betting? Seriously? That's what we're doing? Y'all, it's in the quad with Nick Eden.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday.
I love you too. Love you. Thank you.
This is from me
Oh.
to you.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it
So I
yourself.
trust everyone's read the prospectus. Lance? Why don't you take us through it?
let's get into the prospectus.
Okay.
All right, y'all. 17 minutes after the hour, you are locked into a brand new episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden. Y'all. Now, I almost did like a special news break of this yesterday when this story broke. But my goodness, I said, let me go ahead and save it for today because I am totally confused by this. But, and let me go ahead and say this. It ain't just us. That's all I'm saying. All right. We're going to head back over to HBCU game day for this story. HBCU games under sports betting probe. I don't know if the daggone thing is coming up. Hold on for a second. This is killing me. This is killing me. This is absolutely okay. Cool. Good deal. It's up. Now, I think it is worth saying, you know what? And thank you. Thank you, Liv. You are right on time. Liv never lets me down. Alleged sports bettor on two of the worst teams as well, based on records. Yeah. That is important to say. This is alleged. All right. Now, this again comes to us from our friends over at HBCU Game Day. A gambling ring that is involved in multiple NBA sports betting cases bet against HBCUs, North Carolina A&T, and Mississippi Valley State in what is considered or what is being called unusual activity, according to an ESPN report. Sportsbook accounts bet on games including the two HBCU programs as well as Eastern Michigan this season. Officials at North Carolina A&T and Mississippi Valley State did not respond to ESPN's request for comment regarding the betting case. North Carolina A&T recently announced a suspension of 3 players for a violation of team rules, including its lead scorer. North Carolina A&T Athletic Director Earl Hinton told ESPN in an email that the recent suspension of 3 basketball players was for a violation of well-established team rules, but declined further comment, citing privacy laws. The NCAA takes sports betting very seriously and is committed to the protection of student-athlete well-being and integrity of competition, the NCAA said in a statement to ESPN and other media outlets. I'm gonna tear that shit apart in a second. The association works with integrity monitoring services, state regulators, and other stakeholders to conduct appropriate due diligence whenever suspicious reports are received. Due to confidentiality rules put in place by NCAA member schools, the NCAA will not comment on current or potential investigations. The CAA HBCU basketball program's January 9th game against CAA opponent Delaware was one game that multiple sportsbook sources pointed out. The point spread on the first half moved from Delaware -2 to -3.5. The point spread on the full game closed at -4.5. First half lines are typically equal to or around 50% of the full game point spread. A&T lost the game 98-88. No other HBCUs were mentioned by the ESPN Sporting Bets report. All right. Now, it's a couple things I want to break down. And I want to pull some of these comments up first. Management and sports. I know I have. I can see you. Anyway, let's see. But okay, well, look, guys. I listen. I've told y'all before. When it comes to basketball, I always default to Liv. So I'm happy she's in the comments. How down bad were these people betting with? Hey, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but they should release why they were very odd time to indefinitely suspend. Thank you. And that was going to be my first thing. The timing of the suspensions was just bad, man. It was just bad. And you're going to need to come out and clarify that because it looks dirty. It looks dirty. But I do want to go back to something that they said. The NCAA takes sports betting very seriously and is committed to the protection of student athlete well-being and the integrity of competition. Bullshit. We don't even want to talk about the NCAA and integrity when it comes to anything dealing with money and the student athletes. Especially because I'm still pissed off that 60% of the money that's being paid back to the students in that settlement is coming from the member schools and not the NCAA. Because the NCAA has made billions off the student athlete. Were you protecting the student athletes before when people were shaving points back in the day? Were you protecting the student athletes before when unofficial NIL deals were going on at Power 5 schools? Were you protecting the student athletes then? Were you worried about the integrity of the game? Or were you worried about how much money Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State and UGA, Texas A&M, were you worried about the money that they were going to make y'all? Because y'all have made literal billions off the backs of these young men and women and non-binary individuals for their athletic ability. And it's only in the last few years that they are finally starting to get compensated, but even that's getting corrupted now. And it's still a bunch of people who have not been made whole in this. So I wanted to address that. Okay, and so here's the deal. Sports betting, it's confusing. It is confusing. I think rather than me try to sit here and break it down in my layman's terms, I think it will probably be good if I actually know a guy that's really heavy in the space. And so he can break it down a lot better than me. I think what I'll do is a separate interview and then post it on the show. So we'll circle back around to that. But I think it's mighty funny how all of a sudden the NCAA is altruistic and they're so pure and they're so this and they're so that. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I could see A&T more than Valley. Sorry, Aggies. I'm not saying that y'all are corrupt, but I'm saying that if there's anybody that's got an opportunity or a chance that shaving points might be, or betting or, illegal betting might be a little bit more plausible for it, it's definitely more plausible for A&T than it is for Valley. I hate to say that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But overall, we it's a couple things we got to remember right now. All of this is allegedly. The second thing we got to remember is there are a bunch of other schools that are involved or allegedly involved. So, you know what? I'm gonna say this. What was it? All right, good point, Troy. They placed bets so heavy and moved the line so far, moved from Delaware. All right. And that reminds me of that part in oh gosh, what is it? In Harlem Nights, where they talk about how they're gonna rob Bugsy Calhoun, and Red Fox is like, I get it. He puts his money with the other money, so it don't matter who wins, we getting all the money. Sugar, you a sweet, smart mother. Anyway, my point is this. Maybe if they can find a pattern, they will see that, hey, maybe this is just coincidental. Or if it's a similar pattern to the other schools, this is probably why I got on their radar to begin with. But to Liv's point, I got to echo it. Like, you got to have it's a down bad. These two down bad programs right now. So I don't know what will happen for this, but I think the first thing that A&T is going to have to do, Earl, I'm going to need you to come out with a statement about the suspension. Because you sounded real vague and your timing is really, really bad. NCAA, I'm gonna need y'all to quit acting like y'all are so innocent when it comes to all of this talk about the NCAA and the integrity and protecting the student athlete. Because y'all ain't been thinking about student athlete. The NCAA got enough money to settle. The NCAA has enough money to settle that settlement without passing the buck to the school. And I'm not being funny when I say this. I don't give a damn about Alabama, Auburn. None of them that can pay. I care because our school is going to be paying. I talked about this the other week. In that settlement, we got to pay. I know Alabama State got to pay $300,000 a year for the next 10 years. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. And when the NCAA should be paying the bulk of it. But that's a whole nother thing. I'm going to be talking about that just a little bit more as we go on. Y'all, we are going to take our second commercial break. When we come back, and I'll take some more questions about the whole sports betting thing on Twitter, because there's a couple people that DM me. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about our Tuesday top 10 struggle meals that you ate at your HBCU. And I'm telling you now, reading through some of them comments, y'all got my stomach bubbling. Okay? Understand me? It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
So I trust everyone's read the prospectus. Lance? Why don't you take us through it?
Let's get into the prospectus.
Okay.
All right, y'all, 29 minutes after the hour, you are locked into a brand new episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden. Y'all, I have not had a chance to do this in a long time, but I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite new segments in that show, and it is Tuesday Top 10. Okay. It just is. The StreamYard's too. You charge me way too much on a weekly basis, and you just up the prices. You charge way too much on a weekly basis to be acting up this bad. Anyway, y'all. So we haven't done this in a while, but Tuesday Top 10. It is our top 10 HBCU struggle meals. And look, y'all, shout out to that. Listen, I got well over 30 responses for this, and some of the stuff that y'all ate, I see why we all got blood pressure now. I see why we all got high blood pressure now, because my gosh. But as always, yeah, Troy, I listen, StreamYard is killing me. All right, y'all. Let's get to our first HBCU struggle meal. And that's gonna be right here. All right, what we got? As soon as they pop up. One of these years is gonna pop up. All right, cup of mac and cheese, chili from the dollar store. Good eating. I've never tried that. I have never eaten. First off, let me just start here. All right, and call me bougie, call me whatever you want. I've never eaten chili from the dollar store. Well, let's start there. I've never eaten chili from the dollar store, and I will probably never eat chili from the dollar store. Can't really fool with mac and cheese like that because I'm lactose intolerant. So this is just this is an opportunity for a disaster in the bathroom. But hey, you got it, pimp. You do what you do. Goodness gracious. My stomach bubbling. What we got next? All right, fam. My favorite was mixing a pack of noodles with potato soup. You could stretch that joint out all day. That's a lot of starch. That's a lot of starch. So, but I get what he's saying because what you can do is you can just I don't know. I get what you're saying, but my God, what Jay got to say? Let me see. Never tried that combo, but I used to wear that cup of mac and cheese out. See, this is why we all walk around with bad guts now. This is exactly what we're walking around with bad guts right now. All right. All right, what we got next? Saltines and sardines. My stomach bubbling, but at least I was full. Okay. So I never tried sardines the entire time I was a kid, right? My mom didn't get them because it was like sardines were kind of like when you grow up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and you are flushed with seafood. Sardines, that's bait. Hey, look, I'm about to go out here and I'm about to catch some catfish. I'm about to go crabbing. I'm using the sardines for something else. So I never knew what a sardine tasted like until I got to Bama State. My shout out to my freshman year roommate Rory. Rory was from Mobile, and Rory, when we got there, Rory was like, "All right, look, this is what we're gonna do. Let's run it like this. You got a refrigerator. I don't. You got all the stuff that's perishable. Let's put that in there. The non-perishables, we'll put them in the bottom drawer. So we'll just let me know if we're getting low on something so I can go get some more stuff or you can go get some more stuff." And he had these sardines. And I was like, bro, you don't have to worry because I promise you, I'm never eating those sardines ever in life. And he was like, nah, you'll get there. He's like, eventually you're gonna eat them. And they were the sardines there. Yeah, Troy, they were the sardines and hot sauce. It was insane to me, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. I'm the only person from Louisiana that just is not a big fan of hot sauce like that. Now I get some Franks, give me some Franks, we're cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of hot sauce. So sardines in hot sauce, I was like, there's no way I was gonna ever eat that until it was the excuse me, because we were both in the band. It was the night before the game against they're Troy University now, but Troy State University. It was the night before that game, and man, Dr. Bray had us on that field. I swore, I felt like we were on that field so long we weren't gonna sleep. We were just gonna hop right into our uniforms and go straight to the game. It was that bad. Dr. Bray was a menace, and we had been eating. The calf was closed. I mean, it was. So I get back to the room. I am starving, and the only thing that was left to eat was them damn sardines. And I was just like, "All right, man, let me go and eat this mess." And then, now, in fairness, I've not eaten sardines since my freshman year of college. But while they were there, I definitely did partake. But good God, I felt like I was like, HBCU broke is a whole nother kind of broke. All right, what's next? HBCU struggle meals. Microwave baked potato. Poke some holes in that John. Steal some sour cream from the calf, and you're good to go. I never tried it at ASU. I did do it later on in life as a young adult, out in the workforce, fresh out of college, broke, selling radio, making a base of $24,000 a year before my commission checks came in. Shit. So I tried it then. I wouldn't have dared to try it in Abercrombie Hall at Bama State. There's no way. And because you could not, it don't matter how, like every time I would go and use the microwave, I would clean it before, I would clean it afterwards, but it never failed. Every time you went to that microwave, it was nasty. Like, bro, y'all ninjas just go in there and y'all just turn on, y'all don't put no paper towel down, y'all don't put a glass of water in there, nothing. It's just crap all over the place. So there was no way that I was going to be bringing in fumes of whatever these fools were eating into my baked potato. So I did try that when I got out of college. I did not try it while I was staying on campus. That's crazy. All right, we're gonna do one more and then take a commercial break. All right, let's see what we got. All right, top 10 HBCU struggle meals that you made. Ramen is the only acceptable answer. Listen, I got ramen in my cabinet right now. I don't eat it, but I got it there. Like it's. I remember I was on a cigar call with some friends of mine, and one of the guys that's on the call. I mean, this dude is like literally multi-platinum producer. That has a huge publishing company, always cutting these deals, and bruh on the call tearing some ramen noodles up, and I'm just like, we black. We black. So yeah, ramen is a thing. My oldest daughter, Kayla, she can make she does like she'll have the vegetables and she'll have like some cut up beef in there, or she'll have chicken. You feel like you're at a restaurant eating these noodles. Paige is like not with it at all. She's like, Dad, I like noodles, but I don't like noodles. So, all right, y'all, we'll be right back. It is our top 10 HBCU struggle meals you had while you were in college. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Man, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday.
I love you.
I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me to you.
I am genius.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
Wow. Hey, Jay, this project might need a bit of zhuzhing. Holla back, Warren.
Please let me know your thoughts. Best regards, Warren.
I am genius.
All right, y'all. 41 minutes after the hour. Hey, listen. Jen got all fancy on us. Oh my gosh. you, exactly. Toya, you are right on point. Just fancy for no reason. Like I ain't mad. But hey, you do what you got to do. Listen, for me, again, when I stayed in the dorm, like we didn't have like we couldn't have a, what do you call it? We didn't have stoves we had a microwave. You can even have a hot plate in the room. Well, some of us still have them, but you weren't supposed to have a hot plate in the room. So I couldn't get fancy with any of this stuff until me and my roommates moved into our house. Like that was the move when we first did that. So y'all, if you are just tuning in, we are going over our Tuesday top 10. It is our top 10 HBCU struggle meals. These are the struggle meals we made at our alma mater, is why we were trying to figure out. And this is probably why we all but hey, I ain't had a hot plate. Bama State was like, we will put your ass out of school. You understand me? So let's try next one. All right. Out there struggle meal. A pack of oatmeal and a cut up banana from the calf. Best way to start the day. Yeah, if you were up early enough to go to the calf. Listen, I don't know that many people who were up early enough to go to the calf. I just don't. Like it certainly wasn't me. Listen, when the first thing they told me when I got there, because I got to stay 2 weeks before everybody else got there because we were there for pre-drill. And in the first week, it was just crabs. I'm sorry. The first week, it was just freshman band members. The second week is when the upperclassmen came in, and they told us, they was like, hey, man, don't do no 8 o'clock classes. So my freshman year, I don't think I had class. Well, I had one. Oh, gosh, it was the worst. I had a 9:30 to 10:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But other than that, I didn't have a class that started before 10 o'clock. So I didn't make it to the calf for breakfast. So, and I hate oatmeal. Like to this day, I hate oatmeal. So this wouldn't work for me. But hey, if it works for you, I say go for it. All right, what we got next? Shrimp ramen, a can of tuna, and some cheese. Tuna casserole in the microwave. Yes. I made this almost because I didn't use the shrimp. I didn't use any of the noodle flavoring, but I was talking to my my nieces over Christmas break, and I made this at my mom's house, and nobody eat it. They were like, "Nah, Uncle Nick, we've evolved a little bit." But I was like, "Nah, this is what it was." And yes, the ramen. Yeah, you do the ramen. You get you a can of tuna. You get some shredded cheese. You get some if you want to be fancy. If you want to be fancy, what you do is you grab some saltine crackers, or if you got your refund check, you go and get some Ritz. You crush them bad boys up and spread them across the top. Now you got a top crust, and you made yourself a tuna casserole in the microwave. I'm telling you, people look at me crazy. They're like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that." Let's see. They told us that they scheduled all the labs at 7 or 8 a.m. Hey, see, I was a music major. That wasn't on. Listen, no, the only person in Telebody that was gonna be up that early was Miss Lyle. So I ain't have to worry about that. My crab Paris. We don't call it crab yet no more. Times done changed. We can't call it crab yet no more. So your freshman year, you had a 7 a.m. class. Man, whatever. I wish 7 a.m.? Listen, I don't think that Bama State even offered a 7 a.m. class. That is insane. Oh, look, back in the day, listen, Paris, I crabbed in 98. There was a whole bunch of stuff back in the day that you could do that you can't do now. Times have changed. Times have changed. But I listen. I've never. I wonder if they even have a 7 a.m. class. I'm gonna ask my niece about that. I got a niece at Bama State now. I'm gonna ask her about that. And I'm glad y'all are telling me that because I might as well just go ahead and tell y'all. Yeah, your advisor was definitely the ops. Yeah, your advisor set you up for the okie doke. Listen. Okay, I'm telling. Listen. So for all my let me go ahead and break it down for y'all real quick. For those who have not heard this story before, when it came to, because it looks like it was a whole bunch of y'all at JSU had some 7 a.m. classes. Let me go ahead and tell y'all this now. Coming out of high school, I had several offers. The ones that I was seriously considering, my top 3 choices after Berkeley, because my mom said I couldn't go to Berkeley, it was too far. But my top 3 choices were Morris Brown, Alabama State, and Jackson State. Those are my top 3 choices. I had band scholarships to Morris Brown and Bama State, and I had a choir scholarship to Jackson State. Now, my choir director in high school was like, you should really consider this because the scholarships at Morris Brown and Bama State were partials. JSU was like, hey, come on, because I was a music major too. And of course, they're going to get music majors are going to get more. Music majors are going to get more. But at the last minute, I decided, I was like, nah, I'm going to take the band scholarship to Bama State. The ironic thing is, I went to Bama State, I only marched a year, and then the rest of the time I was in the choir. So that's beside the point. But I listen, 7 o'clock classes, it looked like all y'all got set up for that. I've never, I was today years old, the first time I heard about a 7 a.m. class. Y'all have blown my mind today. I don't know how y'all did it. Bless you. Bless you. And what's crazy, I have another niece. She's graduating this year from Gulfport High, and she's headed to Jackson State. I'm going to text her like when we get off the show and be like, yo, if they try to give you a 7 a.m. class, if they still got them, don't do them. So, because, yeah, y'all look like y'all got some trauma behind that joint. All right, let's see what we got next. Spaghetti. That's it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes. And when you're living on your own, you got an apartment or like we had a house, me and my 2 roommates, when we first moved on campus, sure. Yeah, sure. Spaghetti, at that point, you should be cooking like an adult. You get what I'm saying? But in a dorm, nah, you wasn't rocking with no spaghetti like that in the dorms unless you had some SpaghettiOs. Like that joint, it wasn't really working out for you. You know what I mean? So, but spaghetti, once I was off the yard, oh yeah. Listen, we put probably like $15 together between the 3 of us. Just do like this spaghetti blowout dinner and have a bunch of folks at the house. Cause it was yeah. Nah, I don't recommend it in the fall. I don't recommend it at all, especially in the fall. Just I wouldn't recommend it at any time. I mean, there's no time on earth that I'd just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a 7 a.m. class. Y'all, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna knock out our last 2. And we're going to get my final thoughts. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
So I trust everyone's read the prospectus. Mm-hmm. Lance, why don't you take us through it?
Let's get into the prospectus.
Okay.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Man, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday. I love you. I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me
Oh.
to you.
I am genius.
All right, y'all. 52 minutes after the hour, you're locked into In the Quad with Nick Eden. We are going to go over our last two of the top 10 HBCU struggle meals. Let's get to it. All right, what we got here? Peanut butter and banana sandwich. You're going to blow up the toilet, but at least you'll be full when the calf is closed. That is way too sweet for me, man. Okay. I like peanut butter. I do. And I like bananas. That's not two things that I can see putting together. That's insane. Like, I ain't never thought that. I heard that was something that Elvis did, but a peanut butter and banana sandwich, like, you gonna blow up the toilet if it comes out. That sounds like constipation, bro. That sounds like constipation. That's insane. My goodness. Okay. And finally, goodness gracious. That made me sick a little bit. Okay. Hey, yo, keep circling around the food court at the mall until you get full. Let me let me explain something to you real quick. I think that us doing that is the reason that Montgomery Mall in Montgomery, Alabama no longer exists. We drove all them people out of business. Let me tell you something. I had so much orange chicken and teriyaki chicken. Man, oh my gosh. Yes. Keep circling around the mall. Keep circling the food court at the mall until you get full. That is hey, listen. I did not want to rank any of these because these were all great suggestions, y'all. These were all great suggestions and experiences y'all did. I think this one got to be the number one because it don't even matter if you just ate or not. You still going to that food court and you're gonna sample a bunch of stuff. And don't let you get look, my mom, when I got there, my mom made sure that under her, because she had a group membership, Sam's membership, right? So when I got to state, she was like, well, here's your Sam's card. It's under the daycare center. You know, man, when I realized that in Sam's, you got free samples of stuff too. Man, listen here. I listen. So yeah, and I will say my honorary mention on this. My freshman year, we put together a dorm choir, and we used to practice like 3-4 nights out the week, right? We had the choir my freshman and sophomore year, and then I was off campus after that. But we used to go, it was like 3 or 4 of us that used to go to, shout out to Kay, Jerry, and Fred. We used to go to Crystal's on Atlanta Highway in Montgomery after practice every night. And we in practice at like 10:30, almost 11 o'clock. So we go there, but we went to that Crystal's, even though there was one closer to campus. The reason, one, Jerry had a car. So that made everything all perfect. Yeah, Jerry had a car, so we were like, hey, yo, we out. But we will go to the one on Atlanta Highway because there were girls there that were doing work release, right? So we would flirt with the girls and get free food. That was our struggle meal. We would flirt with the girls and get free food. What I did not expect was that one of the heifers got out. It was one game. I think we were either playing Miles or Southern. It was early in the season, that next fall, and I didn't go to that game. That's when we were playing at Crampton Bowl, and the rest of my boys were there. She showed up looking for me. I did not go to another Bama State game that entire year. I was like, nah, this ain't happening. Y'all. Okay, I ain't gonna hold you. This was a great trip down memory road. I appreciate everybody who participated in Tuesday Top 10. This is fun. I've missed it. Y'all, let's remember a couple things. If you hadn't already downloaded the UEN app, download the UEN app. It is free. You can download it on your devices. You can watch it on your computer. You can watch it on your smart TVs, Roku TVs, whatever the case. You can call it smart, whatever your TV. If your TV can download app, if you can get Netflix, you can get the UEN app. Let's put it that way. But I want to thank everybody for taking an hour out of their day to spend with me. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at Nick Eden, on IG at Nick Eden. I will be back with a brand new show tomorrow. And as always, we're going to continue to cover a bunch. Oh, and tomorrow I got some news about my Different World show rewatch. So I'm going to have some more news about ADW Rewind. So look out for that. And I will see you all same time tomorrow